Welcome everyone to my podcast, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. I'm your host, Nichel Anderson, and today, in a sense, we wrap up my character profile series that I started a while back introducing, or I should say, a while back I started talking about the background of the characters that are rolled out in this first season of my podcast to give you an opportunity to learn about the background of the characters that I'm talking about. And also this will help you, especially if you're new to my production, or if you haven't been new and you've been around following me for a while, MOLIAE, that this podcast will be focusing on other stories, but mostly MOLIAE, because that's my heart, that's my joy, that's what kicked off my writing pretty much. And so with MOLIAE, there's so many characters. So for today, we pretty much end this particular series with the character King Mahlon. And he came to me in a sense when I decided to do this, that he would be the last character because he's been silent for a while. When I say silent, that when I'm writing these stories, you're actually getting the feels that I'm writing it at that moment, almost like a memory in a sense, or what someone has told me and I remember it in that sense. So it's coming off very real at that particular moment where I'm, writing it and then I'm recording it thereafter. And so through the whole time where King Mahlon is either in the scene or not really in the scene, but they're talking about him, he's very quiet. I cannot wait, and I talked about this in my director's clip, to find out more about him. But these particular character profiles is for people that just want to kind of get a quick background about this character in the whole story, because as I mentioned, is at least 50 or so. And then when the production returns to stage for the prestige return of MOLIAE Stageplay, you will be able to go quickly there and find the character profile of that particular character, learn some background, get an understanding of how they looked in the sense of the stories in the book or the webisodes, if they made their debut there, and better connect when we return back to the stage. I think it helps to be more engaged with the overall story. Let's just go ahead and jump into this. Now, again, what I've been doing pretty much is giving you, a quick background of the characters, and then towards the end, I make it patron only, where I'm giving some information that I'm not making public, and probably in some cases of these characters, I will not make it public. So this is the only opportunity that you will be able to get this information if you become a patron. Now, for the most part, you will get the information to learn about the character. That's the whole point. So I can put it out there and people can learn this saga and this world of MOLIAE from my book, Mitsrayim, a Memoir. But going forward, in a sense, just to kind of highlight, to get that access, you can look for that link in the description. Go to my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/Nichel Anderson. Or you do now have a link through my other podcast, Surviving Your Journey Toward Success, where I've added the content there, and you will pay the premium subscription, right? You can cancel anytime. Plus, the first couple of days, I think 7 days or so, you could try it for free on the trial basis. And then after that, you become a subscriber and have access to all of this content, plus more when I do other cultural events and so forth. So it's a good thing, and consider that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. The last character, the one that is going to wrap this up. Pretty much King Mahlon and his wife known each other in their younger years, I say teenage years or what have you. So right now in this short story, he's pretty much in his early 30s. In the book, in Mitsrayim, a Memoir, of course he's a bit older, right? About 20 something older than this. So he's older, a little bit, older in the book. But here he's pretty much, I wouldn't say a fresh new king. You can get that where so many people is either after him, looking for him, want to be able to negotiate with him. So he's been a player on the major scene of authority with other rulers for a while. Okay, and so at any rate, he's tall, he have eyes of Nubian sky, he has smooth skin. All of them kept coming off as smooth skin in a sense when I'm describing it. And I guess you could see that with the natural, with the oils and with the Nile River and with the essence and all of that. They would, take good care of their physique or what have you. So he's very groomed. So at least when you hear him and I'm talking to him, he always, in a sense, of course, initially, he was injured. In the second episode that I made as a bonus, that everybody can get access to that full short story, that going forward, he does have his crown, his royal crown headpiece. He does wear his gold-plated collar crest plate as well. He has a big stone in the middle of that, in the sense that is almost like a mixture of a stone. I see emerald and sapphire, and his garment is attire where it goes all the way to the floor itself. So he rarely ever, I mean, sometimes I can see him where the top is showing like his arms and some of his chest, but his garment, his wrapped garment in a sense, is all the way like maybe touching near his ankles or what have you. And of course he have his gold sandals on. He has these huge gold bracelets, his wrist bracelets, his wristlets I should say. He has these huge gold wristlets in a sense. They're huge gemstones, oval shape. Okay, again matching the gemstone in the middle of his breastplate there, and his eyes is the same color as like Nubian night sky, right? They're very shimmery in a sense of the night skyline. Okay, his eyes are the night skyline. And his feature, he has a goatee as well. Do wear the similar in a sense of how he dresses and poses himself, how he poses himself in a raw ray. He's very calm and articulate, but he gives off a very strong alpha type male personality, but he does it in a very strategic way. So you don't really see him going off too much in a sense. He's very reserved. Now there are moments in my book that he did with King Dumah, because heck, King Dumah was something that he was a handful. But in these short stories, he's very articulate and strategic. King Mahlon and Queen Hagar works like a tag team in a sense, and getting the job done and what they need. So they do respect one another, and you will see more moments of their relationship, of how strong it is in a communicative way and in a relationship way as a husband and wife. So King Mahlon, again, he comes off very dominant in a way, but not overbearing and anything like that, but more as a straightforward type person that gets the job done. It does show that based on his age, he felt that he could definitely do battle. I'm thinking that he was on the battlefield before, but something happened this time that he got injured, right? We're going to know more about that coming up. That's King Mahlon in a sense of his physical and personality type characteristics. And to just let you know, had not read my book yet, the first scene that came through for me to take what I was seeing and start writing it was the scene with King Mahlon with King Kohan. If you don't know, from my book, he is the stepfather of King Dumah. And we know King Dumah as one of the two kings that will pretty much be the focal point when we start focusing on the prestige return of the stage play, because that's the time of Princess Aamina. She had to choose, well, she really didn't. They didn't want her to choose. They arranged the marriage for her to marry King Dumah, but she fell in love with the brother, right? And so, which is King Daniel. So the deal between King Mahlon, really this whole saga of the book dealt with that deal in a sense of why Princess Aamina was going through all that trauma and didn't want to, really be forced to marry, to do the same thing what her sister Princess Hannah had to do. And the deal was set to cover up something. All right. Now, this particular deal, when I wrote it from the book, is pretty much near the time of Princess Aamina. She was a little girl then. So in these short stories, that moment hasn't happened yet, right? That's why in the first episode of this podcast, my short stories, I said the first scene, I named it, I could have named it about Queen Hagar or Princess Hannah or all of that, but it came to me that I need to set the tone that this whole saga is before the time of Princess Aamina, right? And so King Mahlon, King Kohen has not came up yet. Even those two kings I mentioned, Dumah and King Daniel, King Dumah and King Daniel hasn't really came up yet, along with King Kohen. But King Mahlon pretty much is the seed factor in this, planting the seed, in a sense that whatever happened, either this battle has something to do with it, with I'm thinking it's all connected, and that Mahlon choices and decisions and what he had to do correlate to the moment going forward where he's sitting down in that scene, and I named it the deal, and that he went ahead and signed off on it and made that deal with King Kohen for that when she get in a certain age they will merge Mitsrayim in the lower parts of Stageplay with Princess Aamina wealth and King Dumah, and both of them was getting something from it to keep King Mahlon secret, and then King Kohen would be able to secure his son continued wealth and influence. So it was a good deal between them two at that particular time. So King Mahlon, when he finally do come through and I'll be able to see more information from him, we will learn more of why. In the book you find out why, but we will learn even more deeper, and it all seems to point to those that was against him and those that was for him. And this particular short stories, it seems like it's all about King Mahlon in a sense of his prestige, position on the world stage with other rulers, and his constant battle with the Orions and the tribal leaders that, want to change up some things. So thank you so much for joining me for this. This wraps it up, and I do have some more information that would be for patrons only. If you want to know about this information more about King Mahlon that I will not make public, most likely most of this what I've been sharing with the patrons most likely won't be made public. Most of it will not be made public. You'll get a more understanding of the character and the overall story. And it's good to know. So consider to be a patron. Go ahead and follow that link description in a sense in the description field for you to go to patreon.com, nichelanderson.com, or you can go to my other podcast, Surviving Your Journey Toward Success, and you can do the first couple of days as a trial and then go ahead and keep going and get the rest of my content, the rest of the short stories, so you can get the full short story and get access to this information that I'm only making for patron only premium subscribers. Thank you. So let's focus for patron only.